This weekend on the farm was a busy one. All I wanted to make this weekend was this amazing bakery-style cranberry white chocolate bread. Then little by little, my list grew, and I was okay with it. First things first, I needed to start on my bread. I bake for a living, so when it comes to baked goods, I am a perfectionist. This means when I am on a mission to find the best recipe, I may try dozens and sometimes more than that until I find the perfect recipe. This was the case for this bread. I wanted a bakery style bread with a crunchy crust. I also wanted for my breadcrumb to be open. I didn't want dense bread. I didn't want heavy bread. I didn't want bready bread, the kind that you just feel like it has no flavor. I had a vision in mind of what I wanted my bread to be. Another requirement, I did not want for this bread to be a sourdough bread. I am a homeschooling mom to 4 children, so I knew I did not have time to feed a sourdough starter. So after many failed attempts of finding that perfect bread, I finally came across a bread that was a winner. It was everything I dreamed of and more. After I finished mixing my dough, which doesn't even require a mixer, it was time for me to make breakfast. My family is spoiled. Every time we come home on the weekends to a farmhouse, my family expects homemade biscuits and gravy. It now became a tradition for our family. While I make our breakfast, my husband and children head over to the farm to tend to the bison. My husband came back and I could tell that he was feeling discouraged. When asked what was going on, he said that the baler stopped working again. This is a reality of having old equipment. They break all the time. When it comes to hay, it is very much time-sensitive matter. So we are very thankful for our neighbors who have come along our side and used their equipment to help us bale hay. My husband hinted that he would like a piece of my carrot cake, which is his favorite cake that I make. So I had to add making a carrot cake to my to-do list. When I first started to sell my baked goods online, I offered cake in a jar sampler. It was a huge hit among my customers. I'm telling you about my cakes in a jar because this holiday season, I would like to share those recipes with you. Let me know in the comments, is that something that would be of interest to you? While carrot cake was baking, I decided it was time to prep for strawberry jam. As much as I would love to go outside in my backyard and pick rows and rows of strawberries for me to make jam, that is not current reality for us. We have a strawberry farm about 5 minutes from the house, but sadly, because of unusually cold weather and rainy weather, the strawberries were not that good this year. I already had strawberries on sale for less than $2 a pack, and I thought to myself, why can't I just make jam with store-bought strawberries? So I bought strawberries, I bought sugar, and off to work I went. Growing up in Belarus, I have fond memories of my mom making strawberry jam. After adding sugar to my strawberries, I just let them sit for a few hours to develop its own juice. Then I remembered, I haven't even started on an order that somebody placed for a local pickup. I usually don't advertise my cookies locally, but somebody from my church asked if they can order it, so I said sure, and I was supposed to have it ready on Saturday. They asked if I can make my cinnamon pecan rugula, which is a pretty popular item I sell online. After the cookies baked and then cooled, I packaged them, and then a customer picked them up that afternoon. By this point, my bread was needing my attention. It was time to add my white chocolate and cranberries and mix it up. I can't tell you how amazing this bread is, and my plan is to share this Friday this recipe with you. Now you can omit cranberries or white chocolate and make it a sandwich bread. You can add any sort of add-ins that you personally like. I just prefer the combo of white chocolate and cranberries. Now this is where the multitasking got a hold of me. I was doing dishes in the sink when I turned my head to the left only to see the disaster on the stove. I kind of forgot to reduce the heat, so hence the mess. Seriously, like I needed more cleaning to do. But that's just part of the process, so I cleaned everything up real quick and went back to stirring my strawberry jam. Now one of the things that I remember growing up my mom doing, I do not use pectin, so I cook my strawberries low and slow, and every once in a while I have to remove this white foam off of my strawberries. I remember as a kid looking forward to eating that white foam because it wasn't quite as sweet as jam itself, but I found it at that point that it was like having a little dessert. Because I do not use any thickening agents in my jelly, it takes several hours for my jelly jam to cook. The liquid in that time frame usually gets reduced by about 2/3. At this point, the color of my strawberries has turned to this very deep, dark burgundy. I usually drop a little bit on the plate to see if my jam has thickened. In my family, we love eating Russian blini, which is like a crepe pancake, thin pancake with jelly. So we don't like necessarily store-bought thick jelly. We like homemade jelly where it's a little bit runny, so you can dip and get this runny jelly on your pancake. As this jelly cools, it also thickens a little bit, so it becomes this perfect consistency that we love. I use water bath method to can my jelly. I find it a pretty easy and straightforward process. At this point, dough was calling my name, so I need to do one last fold and stretch. See how beautiful my dough looks. Look at that. It has not just doubled in size, pretty sure it has tripled in size. So now I'm gonna shape it, and there's a few more steps before we bake it. Let's go. While the dough was rising, it was time to clean up the house a little bit. I tend to make a little bit of a mess while trying to multitask and doing a lot of things, so I have to stop, get my house back in order, and then go back to doing my tasks. I ended up with about 7 small jars, 3 bigger jars. So after I did my math, I spent $20 on strawberries and sugar. So my price per jar, and that's of course not counting my time, that counting electricity of processing my jars, was less than $2 a jar. And it only had 2 ingredients, sugar and strawberries. At this point, it was about 6 o'clock, so it was finally time to bake my bread. I really want you to take my word for it. I know it sounds, probably looks more like it, that this bread takes forever to make, but I promise you it's so easy that a beginner should have no problem understanding the steps of how to make this bread and it coming out amazing. And I promise to explain to you and make it as easy as possible in my recipe that I will share this Friday with you. I mean, just look at this crumb. You see all those holes? It's airy. It also has high hydration, so it's moist. We ate most of that bread that evening. Please don't judge me. It was that good. But I did have to hide a few pieces to enjoy for breakfast with a slab of butter and about a tablespoon of my homemade strawberry jelly, and it was phenomenal. My kids came running into the kitchen when they saw me adding jam to this bread. And I promise you, if you give this recipe a try, it will become your favorite bread. You will never buy store-bought bread again. Oh, and I almost forgot to show you the end result of my carrot cake. It is hands down the best carrot cake. So my friends, don't forget to like and subscribe, as I will share all these recipes with you in my upcoming videos.